Ahoy there, me hearties! This be Captain Silverhook, and you're listening to the Two Old Pirates podcast. Set sail for an open sea of stories, tales, and some really crazy stuff. I expect you to like and subscribe, lest you be walking the plank.
Hello and welcome to podcast episode 83 of the Two Old Pirates. I'm Eric, and we are coming to you today with another cold case. The last cold case dealing with my hometown of Rockport did reasonably well, and there seemed to be a lot of people that were really interested in it, so I thought I'd pick up on another one. The difference between this cold case and the other cold case that we covered is that this one we know the name of the person, we know the sex, the age, where they were at, and it's like they walked off the face of the earth. So, to give you a little bit of background, this took place in the summer of 1989. I believe it was 34 years ago yesterday. So, August 6th, 1989, Eliza Robertson, a little girl from Aransas Pass, went missing. To give you an idea about 1989, like we did with the last podcast, 1989, I actually graduated high school that year. That's a long time ago. The first McDonald's that ever opened in Russia opened in 1989. Tiananmen Square massacre over in China, where the Chinese people, upwards of about 100,000, went out to this huge square to protest and say, we want freedom. And from what we found out over the years, the Chinese government was brutal and slaughtered God knows how many. The Game Boy was released from Nintendo. The Berlin Wall, it fell. So a lot happened in 1989. But this young girl, Eliza Robertson, she went missing in Aransas Pass. On that Sunday, Eliza, who was 13, got a phone call from a friend named Debbie. And Debbie said, hey, you want to come over and we'll hang out or something? It was a Sunday. Eliza asked her mom, and Eliza's mom said, it's getting kind of late, Eliza, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. But she finally gave in like most moms. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, and she's all, just be careful. Now, Eliza and Debbie usually had this thing where they'd meet halfway, and then Eliza would walk the rest of the way back to Debbie's. And the halfway point was an elementary school that's in Aransas Pass, and so they were going to meet there. Now, between Debbie's house and Eliza's house, from everything that I've been able to read about this cold case, was about a block and a half. So we're not talking about like half a mile down the road or anything. It wasn't that big of a distance. So her mom said okay, and she was going to go meet her. Now, along the way, a witness saw Eliza walking by herself, and she even stopped and talked to this witness for a little bit, and then walked off back, going towards the elementary. A little bit later, Debbie shows up, and she's walking down the road, and she sees the same witness, and she says, hey, did you happen to see my friend? Her name's Eliza, and we're supposed to meet over there at the elementary, but she's not there. And the witness tells her, yeah, I saw her. She was here a little bit ago, and then she went walking, towards the elementary. So, so that's the last person who ever talked to Eliza and saw Eliza was the witness, and this witness also talked to Debbie. But the thing is, we've never been able to find Eliza. She disappeared. So Eliza evidently was walking on the streets of Greenwood up towards South Whitney. And that's the last time anybody visually saw her in 1989. So by this time, Debbie goes to Eliza's family and explains to the mom she never showed up. Of course, they were concerned. They went out looking. They talked to the witness again. The witness was all, yeah, I saw both these girls and stuff. I don't know what's going on. They finally called the cops at 11 o'clock that night. And they put together a big search party. They looked everywhere. Dogs did hit on a scent. They did hit. And where did the scent go to? The elementary. So her final place that she was supposed to go to, the elementary, where she was supposed to meet Debbie, is the last place that they could get a trace of her. So there's been really no leads. There's been innuendos about certain people that might have done this or done that, but nothing has come to fruition. But the dogs hit at the elementary, which means that it seems that Eliza at least met there or made it there. and then somebody had to have grabbed her or picked her up. Everything that I've read on this story is, it's 34 years old, is that she was not the type of girl that would just got in a car. She was 13. She was smart enough and been told enough, you don't go with strangers and stuff. So they said she would have at least fought or screamed or something. Nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. And to this day, 34 years later, as of yesterday, Eliza has never been seen. Not a hair, not a fiber, nothing. So, unlike the last one where it's just a young man who was hit by a car and was found on the side of the road, we know Eliza. Her family has searched and searched. The police in Aransas Pass keep this as an open case. They still have the box of all the information that they have on it, witness reports, everything, but they've also digitally uploaded it to a computer, but they keep that box there so they can say, we're going to find what happened to this young lady. We just don't know. It's literally in a small town like Aransas. Aransas was about 8,000, 9,000 people. In the middle of the day, 4:30 in the afternoon, and a little girl, boom, she's gone, never to be seen. Now at that elementary, they did plant a tree to commemorate her since she had been a student, and they also put a marker there with her name. And her favorite animal was a dolphin. And so they have like two dolphins like breaking out of the water swimming. So it's a beautiful memorial, and it's there, and it's been there all, for decades, to memorialize the little girl that's lost. She's a 13-year-old kid, junior high, and all she was doing was just trying to walk a block and a half to her friends. And she was going to meet halfway at the elementary, and somebody scooped this poor young little girl up and took her. And it's never been solved, and nobody's ever come forward. And somebody out there knows. And to have lived with this for 34 years is just, as a father, I can't imagine what her family's gone through, especially her mom. Because, if they've already said in different interviews, they know she's not on Earth anymore. So they've come to some kind of conclusion, but it's the idea that you can't give them a proper burial. And I have 3 children of my own, and if one of them went missing for 34 years, you die a little every day, I would imagine. You just, how do you function as a human being, knowing that you can't even go to a gravesite or something, they're just gone. So, I implore you, if you're from the South Texas area and you're around back then, you've ever heard anything, you've never said anything, there's confidential ways to get a hold of people and let them know. No real suspects have ever come up. It's still an open case. She was a 13-year-old little girl, and as of right now, she would have been 47. Think about that. Middle age, going to 50, and it's like she stopped in time. They have the pictures of her and stuff when she was 13. And that's it. That's all they have. And the memories of her, her laughter and smiles and birthdays and all the things that kids have and stuff. And all she was doing was just trying to walk to a friend's house, and some scumbag, some creep, some lower than pond scum took her. If somebody out there does know something, and I challenge you to go ahead and get some information in so they can solve this case and this family can start to heal if they ever can. It's one of the saddest things when anybody goes missing, but when a child goes missing, you think of what their life could have been, all the things that they could have accomplished, all the things that they didn't get to do. It's twice as sad. So, for the Tool Pirates, this is Eric. I hope that you enjoyed this short podcast over the cold case of Eliza Robertson. If you have any information on this case, please call the number that is on the screen and let the Aransas Pass Police know that you might know something so that they can possibly solve this case. I really, really appreciate your time and effort on this, and I would love to have some more subscribers, some more likes, and if you like this type of podcast, I can do more in the future. To each and every one of you, good day.